Hello traders, Corey Mitch here with TradeThatSwing.com. This is your swing trading stock watch list for September 16th. I had updated this on the weekend, but I haven't run any of the chart pattern scans, and there were lots. So I just looked at earnings plays. There was not much for TATR plays because everything on the, well, there's lots because there's plenty of stocks that are super strong. But I typically look at the best swing trading stocks watch list for that, and all the stocks in there are just absolutely flying. So there's nothing that's dipped below our line. Market conditions are still good. So let's go through these. You can see the list here. You can see the criteria. I did scan this week. I'll have to delete that when I update this or publish it. And I did something new. You can see you can load the following list into TradingView here. So if you are a TradingView user, you can just click that link and it'll take you to this list on TradingView. You can see the list here. If you want to take a quick snapshot or whatever, I'm going to flip over to the chart and I have the list set up. So we're going to start with, there's only a few Canadian ones, so let's go through those first. So TI, we can see rounded bottom in play here. We did get this little pullback, and so if we keep going up, that's technically an entry. I'd prefer to see, I'd prefer to enter a little bit, maybe a little bit lower, but we'll see. That opportunity may not occur, but yeah, first kind of pullback here. So if we start moving back up, that would potentially be an entry there. This one's not really, did I leave it on the list? Yeah, I might have deleted it. Because it's not really a traditional pattern I trade. Well, at least not in this context. I actually day trade this quite a bit. But we have a very clear range here that it broke out of. So if it comes back and tests this kind of area and then starts going up, that would be of potential interest to me. It's basically like a you could think of it as like a non-perfect rounded bottom, because ideally this would be a little lower than this high. This low would have been a little lower, and you start to get that moving down and moving up. But instead, we just kind of went sideways and then we had the pop up. So it's kind of similar to a rounded bottom. So we would look for a pullback, potentially into this area here, and move up. But I didn't actually include it on the list. A little extra tidbit in there. This one's kind of messy. Ballard Power Systems. Did I leave that one? I did, yeah. Said a bit choppy. CLNX pullback DAKT. So really big drop here, and then you can see it does slow. Then you have this nice pop here, and to me, when we were over here, that's a little quick. This was, really sharp. That was a nice move up. So that's technically your first entry, but it's not really rounding out. It's more just kind of whipsawing around a bit. So no entry back there. Wanted to see how it continues, and it has continued to push to the upside. So I kind of drew in a little ghost pattern. So I'd probably be looking for a pullback, and maybe it tests this kind of little rangy area here and then starts going up. Then since this was kind of a choppy, messy pattern, I'd feel a little bit better. We have a little bit more clear uplines moving, higher swing highs, higher swing lows, a little bit trend more forming. This one just really tightening up, contraction pattern, starting to even consolidate in here. This is, up toward the upper part of the triangle volume. To see how that is, volume definitely dropping off. That's what we like to see. And so basically, yeah, if that starts moving up, potential. Or beat this one. Did I leave this on here? Yeah, this is a bit of a weird one too. It's slightly contracting though, like with this little bit of a pop up there, but pretty clear line in the sand there. and low price stocks, so you know that's like 1 or 2 cents. And it's just contracting a little bit, but this is like very rhythmic. I like to see kind of rhythmic price action when it's happening. So this is kind of pushing that boundary. So maybe a couple ways to trade this are if it consolidates here and then breaks out, that would just be more of a classic contraction. Since it has been kind of rangy, you could also wait for, see if I can ever find it when I need it. There it is, the ghost feed. You know, wait for the move up, then wait for a pullback, and then trade it that way. So like let it break, wait for a pullback. It may not come, but then trade the bounce. But that's, yeah, a bit of an odd one as well. And this one also kind of different. Couple ways to trade this. So we have over here, I'm looking over here at the contraction. So I wrote down a contraction because it is contracting in. So we'd be looking, you know, for it to consolidate and then break. We also have a rounded bottom here, right? It's really hesitant to go down. You get the big pop up and the higher swing lows. So now these areas here, when price pulls back, consolidates, and then moves up, and this one, those are entries for the rounded bottoms. We're kind of at a right near an entry for a potential rounded bottom as well, because this is just kind of chopping around. It also is a cup-and-handle. So a few ways to trade this one because it's basically has multiple patterns. Okay, let's get on to the US ones because there's a lot more. Pretty simple rounded bottom, right? Shows the slowing that we're looking for. Now we've had the pop up, higher swing high. So basically, oops, can never get that right. That's the kind of thing we're looking for. Same thing with this one. It's rounding out. It's just made its higher swing high. So ideally this moves up a little bit more. We get the pullback. So there. That's the kind of pattern we're looking for. Same thing here. We just made our higher swing high, so we're just, you know, we get a little bit of a pullback. That's what we're looking for. Rocket Labs, we're in our pullbacks. Now we're waiting for the move back up if it comes. This one had its move up. We've had our pullback. It is just starting to move up. So this is just getting underway. This one, same thing. This one got a little ahead of itself there. So technically this, well, I wouldn't enter up here. I'd prefer to wait for a pullback or just let it go. Rounded bottom again, pops up, first pullback. Now we're basically waiting for a second pullback. We're getting close to that little trend line, which can sometimes be a good reference for these. Same thing. We had our high, first pullback, move up again. So we're kind of getting more of that uptrend going on. And yeah, so moving out of this little pocket, or if you wanted to wait for the trend line pullback. If it's marked green, that doesn't mean I'm more interested or anything. It just means it's close to a setup, close to setting up, whereas the ones that aren't, so this one up here, I'd probably be waiting for, you know, probably going to take a couple days to get a pullback, which would be more my preferred entry, just kind of in line with what's going on. Roblox double consolidation already in play. There were a few others, double consolidations, AMPX, PSIX. Let's just go back to those ones quickly. There's your first consolidation. So just popping up off a low. And then another one forms right above it. So that entry triggered already. So a double consolidation is already underway. P6, same thing, what it just triggered today. So we had this little move up off the bottom. First one. You've probably never heard of a double consolidation before unless you've taken my course. And I don't see it a ton, but it's a good little pattern because basically it's after the price has been moving down for a bit, if you get a little pop up and then it consolidates, and instead of, that's usually if the downtrend was going to continue, it'd start moving down. But instead you get the pop up and you get another consolidation. And again, if the price was moving down before, if this is going to move, it's probably going to break that consolidation to the downside. But the fact this kind of keeps edging up if the downtrend that was happening over here, the bit of a pullback that was happening was going to keep happening, it'd probably break these consolidations to the downside, and it doesn't. So it shows those buyers are stepping in, and our entries when the price moves above that second consolidation. So we were on Roblox, so you can see that one broke to the upside and it's underway. So that one's underway. The rounded bottom also right in this area would be kind of the next entry, or that had occurred. We still could maybe get in around that area. This one, contracting in, contraction. Yeah, just tightening up a little bit. This one, if it starts popping up and then pulls back, could also be around the bottom. This one hasn't formed anything yet, but we do have our new swing high. So we'd be looking for a pullback and to form that rounded bottom. See, this one has broken out of a contraction. Right, so we had the consolidation there, broke out. Not much lower volume on that consolidation. I like to see the volume drop off. Either way, now in hindsight, because this wasn't on my list, I wasn't aware of it when it occurred. Now that this has happened, it's one of those ones, it's broken out, so I traded like a few of those other ones I've mentioned, something like that. So it's like we can almost trade it, even though it didn't really have the rounded bottom where it, slowed down on its selling. We have had basically the right side of the rounded bottom where we've had this, steady move up. We've broken out. Now we have this whole pattern here that may act as support. So if it pulls back, bounces off of it, this could be our entry right in this area here as it starts to move up. This one, rounded bottom. This was our first swing high, pullback. That was our entries. These are getting to be kind of later entries, but you can see the price difference isn't huge. This was the prior entry, so us getting in kind of in this area, it's not too far off that other entry. And finally, this one, tell. So this is our first move up, tries to move down again, makes very little progress, just slightly moving up. And now definitely we can start to see that, kind of shift more toward the upside. So if this continues to move up, that'd be what I'm interested in. So that is the list. Nothing really DAKT. That was pretty much the only one that I saw recently. It's on its move up. We are waiting for a pullback. Ideally, those candles get smaller as they drop, so we end up with a tiny candle here at the bottom, kind of showing that indecision point, and then we get the pop up. So entry once the price starts making higher candle highs. Because there weren't much, I just threw in some of the ones that are underway so you can check them out. TATR, as I mentioned, TATR is the best swing trading stocks list. So that'd be this one, which I just updated. and we use the trailing stop loss, or ATR stops. And basically this is when the price moves above, we're in a long trade. We get out when it crosses back below. I wait for closes. And yeah, all of these are just absolutely on fire. So since we need a signal, the price needs to drop below like it did here and then move back above. That's what we're waiting for. And these are all above. So we would need to wait for a move back below the line and then a move back above. Or at minimum, you want to see the price get very close to that line. I don't even know. There were maybe a couple of those. That one on our pattern list. But most of them are pretty far away from the line at the moment. Yeah, so anyway, best swing trading watch list is updated there for you to check out. So that's the current watch list, what I'll be watching this week. Have a great trading week out there.